Welcome to Contractor Fight TV. This is video number 1 in a 6-part series that we're going to do on this thing called gross profit and why it's important, why you need to give a crap. So let's tear it up. Let's go. All right, so this training series is meant to be a basic primer for helping you to understand gross profit in your contracting business. Before we dig in to this whole gross profit thing, I want to go over some basic definitions for you guys that we're going to be using through this series. And I just want to put us on the same playing field here, or get us on the same page with some of these terms, okay? So the first definition is revenue, okay? Revenue is money that you collect, that you deposit into your business, okay? We're going to talk a lot about revenue. It's fuel for the car, right? The car doesn't run without gas. Money coming into your business is like gas. That's what revenue is. Costs of goods sold, COGS, also known as direct costs. This is what you, my friends, get to pay to build the project for the customer. It's direct labor for the job. It's materials for the job, permit, any amount of money you are spending to produce the job. That's what cost of goods are, COGS or direct costs. Gross profit, we're gonna get into, is basically you got the revenue that came in and you got what it cost you and you subtract what it cost you. So if you charge 10 grand, cost you 5 grand to do the job, you got 5 grand left, that 5 grand is your gross profit. We're gonna get into that more obviously in the next series of videos here. Overhead. Overhead is anything you have to pay in the business, even if you don't do any projects. So like I'm standing in my office right now, I pay for my office. So even if I have no clients coming into my coaching business this month, I still have to pay for the office. I still have to pay my salary. I still have to pay for Noel, who's behind the camera right now shooting videos. All right, I still pay for my internet and things like that. Overhead is anything that gets paid in the business, even if you don't do any projects. Just to keep it simple, and there's variable and there's fixed and all that other shit, so don't be sending me messages about, oh, you missed this, okay? That's not the point of this. Break-even point. Your break-even point is when you zero out in the business, okay? And we're gonna actually do, one of the videos is gonna be on break-even point, but it's the amount of money you have to collect each month to just zero out and not drown, okay, in your business. And then net profit is what's left after everything is paid. All right, it's the financial pat on the back that you get for having the stones to be a business owner and go through all the bullshit that you go through and the stress that you go through and all that good stuff. All right, so those are just some of the basic definitions here. And I actually have a form I'll put in the description here for you guys, a definitions form that lists all these definitions and stuff and some other things. So guys, gross profit is what is left after you pay to do the job, like I talked about before, okay? And it fuels everything else in the business. The amount of money left after the job is done is described as a gross profit margin, okay? So if you sell a $10,000 job and it costs you $6,000 to do the job, you have $4,000 left, and that's what you have left to pay for the overhead in the business and to have a net profit. So that $4,000 is basically 40% of the revenue collected on the job, and that is a 40% gross profit margin. There's a difference between what you sold the job for, what it produced, and what's left. Big contractor business tip for you guys here. The higher your gross profit is, okay, the higher it is, the easier it will be for you to pay for the overhead and have a net profit left over at the end of the month, end of the year, end of the quarter, whatever it might be. The fastest way, I think I did a video not too long ago that the fastest way out of the financial gutter is to get a 50% gross profit. And so the next video that I'm gonna do is actually gonna be why I preach 50%. I'm gonna give a number of reasons of why a 50% gross profit is key to you getting out of the financial problems that you might be in, why it's key to making sure that you have money left over each month and that you can pay your family what you need to make and all those good things, all right? So I'm super excited to bring this series to you guys. Stay tuned for the next video on why I preach a 50% gross profit. We'll see you then.